miss with a dozen roses. Such would astound you, the joy of children laughing around you. These are the makings of you. It is true, the makings of you. The righteous way to go, little one would know.
Here, the centuries of loneliness were to end.
Your collection of Leonardo da Vinci masterpieces, Mr. Flint.
They appear to have been recently painted.
On contemporary canvas with contemporary materials.
Then, age, death, the taste of dust. Do you understand?
You wanted a perfect, ultimate woman. As brilliant, as immortal as yourself. Your mate for all time.
Merkaba master, I charter demons to other worlds, drive devils to plaster, rush them to hell, breathing asthma, place Satan on gurneys next to Hermes, send them off to their journey to Cleopatra. They read those chapters, egos captured, the Leo laughter, neoplasma, run through my veins in this matrix, and my basement became a plaza, and now I'm in the Sky Lounge, where negative spirit hackers build on math and we read the chapters, observe through our windows at the quiet disasters, riots at NASA, marches, gender pride, freedom rights for the masses, till we do away with first and second citizen classes. Religion is backwards, trying to comprehend to the pastor. This gym is like Jasper. Either we all live and strive for the youth to survive, or it all ends with the rapture. Forget waiting on the man, I'm making a plan. And for the ages of false statements, I'm taking a stand. Start an investigation on Satan with a cross in my hand. Make him plead guilty, now face the jury. We're in the courts of I am. If I could just vanish from off the planet, like magic, become caught from granite. Days, mathematics is understanding.
Hey, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear. Hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear.
A billion stories in the naked city. Ghost told me that his best friend needs a kidney. We froze, reminisce of Tiffany in the cold, open whiskey from the 20s, in the memory, sympathy, made the angels play a symphony. Said he could've had a scholarship, toured different colleges, now he's out of it, fading away slowly on dialysis. His name remained anonymous, but here's my acknowledgements. Street legends and hood guards, kingdom fall into a mirage, ghetto depression sets in. Then we place weed and cigars. A child has difficulties concentrating. From where he lives, he sees his promises fading. He sees his pops gone, his mom's is aging. She trying to stay strong for a church congregation. And meanwhile, a kid named Rico was the coke king. A lot of siblings are the dope fiends, hope you scream. A lot of children with broken dreams, homes were clean. The most extreme, you got rich and what you sold to queens. Look what you did to Josephine. And Ebony is unheavenly. The devil's ready with open wings. As Lucifer uses love and his youthful mug, then his blood on the cobra's fangs.
Hey, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear. Did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear.
Through the mid.
Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Knowledge Radio. Place for knowledge is born, shows knowledge born alive. We here, okay? We here with the mother of the shift It's Cancer season, the mother of the zodiac. All right, we a couple days away from the greatest. Okay, we a couple days away from the greatest. All right, so in the race against time, who could beat the sun? All right, so shout out to the Leos and them Leo risings. Okay, you know what I'm saying? We outside. We outside. Right. So definitely, it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some, present to others a phenomenal, multi-talented, multifaceted mastermind here with us. Okay, one of the greatest therapists of our time, if not the greatest. I argue the greatest. Argue with your mama, fam. Okay, argue with your mama, fam. One who has found a way to wield her magic wand in a way that provides insight, that provides healing, that provides counsel, and that provides the real. Okay, because she'll pull the switch off the tree. That magic wand to turn into a switch if need be. All right. So again, glad to have her here because mother knows best. All right. So it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some percent to others and welcome back to her other platform, our mother, okay, of House of Blanco, of New Eden University, of Trap Therapy, which is the one, the only Reverend Dr. J.N. Huskey. Welcome back. How you feeling?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. All right. You know, it's Cancer season. Everybody in their feelings. So Jupiter and Cancer, everybody in their feelings for a whole year. All right. So we definitely need some Mother Knows Best love to sort through feelings versus intuition and the Lulu versus the real you. So help us, Lord. Okay. Help us, Lord. So how's this transit been treating you? And is or is you ain't prepared for your own greatness? Okay, because you know the Leos is you know getting
We
ready.
easing on in the door. We easing
Yeah,
on in there.
yes,
But no, I'm just thankful for another trip around the sun.
beautiful, beautiful. So this heavy transit with this heavy transition in the season, has that affected your? Has there been an uptake in folks coming for sessions and folks needing clarity and helping folks fight through emotion or blast from the past or any of this stuff that's happening? How has this, particular transit shift into Jupiter and Cancer season been for you from the professional level?
Mhm. It's definitely noticeable, but that happens with anytime certain planets go into retrograde, anytime we have particular shifts, there's always an uptake in the sessions. But Mercury goes into retrograde on the 17th, I believe. So we're in that pre-shadow period where things are being revealed, where exes and old friends are coming back, and childhood traumas coming back to your remembrance, sleepless nights, those types of things. And it prompts people to go and seek therapy and seek spiritual guidance during this time.
All right. So if you was to have a top three things that become or have become most concerning in this time to people, I'm curious to know as to what's important for people right now.
I think the main thing is depression. And there's been a rise in depression that normally we see this type of rise in depression in the fall shifting into winter. The holiday seasons trigger a lot of depressive thoughts, but this summer has been a doozy. I've seen a lot more men as well coming wanting sessions and seeking help and guidance that hasn't been the case typically the last couple of years. All the women were on their spiritual journeys and going to therapy, and that was a whole thing. But now I'm getting a lot more male clientele that is seeking clarity and trying to sort some things out. So shocking, but a good thing for sure. As far as top three, the depression, also people are struggling financially. and that adds to the depression. And so, along with therapy, as far as guiding them with their mental and emotional health, sometimes certain life lessons come along with that. Financial literacy, speaking about credit, speaking about budgeting. I have to incorporate some of that sometimes too. And third, just the breakdown of the Black family. It's just not what it used to be. The setup is not what it used to be. And everybody's just trying to cope and navigate through that. So that's got to be top three: depression, financial issues, and the breakdown of the Black family unit.
Ooh, the breakdown of the black family. Let me tell you what I tell you when I tell you what I tell you, okay? Over the last year, I've really honed in on that particular subject, as a whole.
Mm,
It's been my whole tenure, but as far as my writing and my writing focus, it's been centered around that. So 12 books since last year in regards to the resurrection and repair of the black family. You know what I'm saying? From that perspective, two more books left in the series, Voices of the Diaspora. So I've been, I don't have a lot of feelings, as you know. I got a few. And black people got all of them. You understand? All of the little few feelings. But the feeling and the shift of taking us out of the negative mental attitude back into a positive mental attitude in the space of self actualization, how we see ourselves versus how we perform for other people. I think that was something sort of interesting. So putting together things, and you said summertime, and school's out, let's shout, hooray! Uh, but the learning should begin when the school is out, especially if they in the public school system. So
mhm,
I'm very curious as to some of the things in regards to ways that we could utilize this time most efficiently with our young people, surrounding family in particular, and making Black family be a subject of analysis.
mhm,
So having courageous conversations, and I want to ask you again about trauma, and the power of black family. I talk about family trauma, and dealing with unresolved trauma, and approaching that. So what are some healthy ways that you would suggest utilizing this time in the summer with the family to build a greater trust and rapport, and then also having uncomfortable or courageous conversations around trauma?
mhm. Well, with it being summertime and the kids being out of school, learning doesn't stop at my house. You're still required to do some sort of academic work every day. My daughter had a friend of hers sleep over a couple of nights last week, and she was like, "Your mama gonna make us do homework in the summertime?" Absolutely, and you come on to the table too. But that's because the mind has to stay sharp. You can't let your children just run amok with no academics whatsoever all summer and then expect them to be able to comfortably go back into a classroom come August and be able to sit still and pay attention and jump right back into learning. And so for me, the learning don't stop over here. So that's one suggestion that I would say, especially for Black families. Keep the learning going, even if it's fun trips to the library, even if it's watching an educational show or something with your child. They need to be learning something, keeping their mind sharp throughout the summer. Can't just let them watch the iPad all day. Um, so that's number one. But also pushing conversation in Black families. Back in the day, there wasn't too much conversation. What the parents said was what it was. The kids don't need to be asking no questions. They don't need to be voicing no opinions, expressing themselves. What mama said, what daddy said, what grandma said, that was it. And now these children are not that way. They've got questions. They've got strong feelings or big feelings, as my kids call them. They They want to talk. They want to express themselves. They want an understanding of why can't I do this? I understand that you said no, and I'm not talking back when I say why. I'm genuinely asking you, why can't I do this? Help your kids to understand. Push those conversations. Have those conversations about hard topics, about um, current events, about things they may have seen on TV, about things going on in their friend groups. Having that open dialogue creates a safe space so that they know they can come and talk to you instead of looking at it like, I don't want to tell my mama this because she gonna flip out. She gonna go off on me. I can't tell daddy this. I need to hide this. I don't want to create sneaky kids. So my kids have the free reign to come and talk to me about anything. And it makes my white streak grow sometimes, especially that girl. But they know they have the space and the opportunity to have those conversations. So I think that's a big one too for Black families, especially in the summertime.
I would have dropped the bomb. Okay, I just want you to know that there was like a bomb in the air, but it's still in the air. You understand what I'm saying? It's still in
Mhm.
the air. Yes, that is so, so, so needed. You know, I said I did, some training, some disaster preparedness training, and I'm thinking I'm doing it for the young people, and I'm doing it for the adults.
Mhm.
The adults is like, the children's like, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I would be on the roof. Oh, I would be in the trench over here. Da, da, da. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, yes, yeah. So they got a chance to be able to do it. So in addition to the things that you mentioned, the most important thing is a line of communication. You need to know who and what's in your family, and
Right.
what their you know presets are, and what their set abilities are. You might be the best knower over here, but they are the best knowers over here, here, and here. So how do you incorporate that, and then how do you turn that into a stream of revenue for them, where they can see this young already? They can see that something that comes from their mind can take care of them for the rest of their life, so they don't have to go any place looking for something, looking to work for somebody somewhere and all that. Like, nah, we working this out together. But if we don't have trust, like you said, a big thing, like, I had to revolutionize my entire parenting style to be able for my children to come to me with whatever. You know what I'm saying? Come to me with whatever. And, my daughter told me straight up one day, like, yo, fam, you said, you said, all right.
They will
So this is
remind
what I
you of what
this
you
is what I
said.
got to say. I'm like, oh, whoo. All
Mhm.
right, let's get it on. So, she told me what she had to tell me, and I heard everything that she said. I thanked her for what she said, and then I told her what I said. You know what I'm saying? And she looked like, oh, all right, yeah, yes,
I'll
yeah.
give
So
you
I'm like,
a really good example of that. My 9-year-old daughter is on the spectrum. And the type of autism that she has, Asperger's, she is
mhm,
very high functioning academically, but
mhm.
as far as social skills, she has no filter whatsoever.
Beautiful,
Now, granted, her mother doesn't either, but she
right?
definitely has no filter whatsoever. And so I have to allow her space to be able to express herself and also remind myself that what sounds like her getting smart or sounds like her being intentionally disrespectful may just be the way that she worded her thoughts and her feelings at that time. And so the other day I told her, you got to clean up your room. And I'm sitting there with my sister and my mom, and Kimani responds, I don't want to clean up my room today. We all three, three Black women sitting at the table, like, girl, what? She was like, well, I mean, it's my room, it's my personal space. I don't really want to clean up my room today. I think I should be able to clean up my room on the day that I pick because it's my space. Now, immediately, my African mama was like, little girl, if you don't, I'm like, we don't do that here. So The therapist in me had to tell the black mama in me to chill out for a minute.
Chill
So
out.
what I
Yeah.
did was I got her to a calendar out the refrigerator. What day is going to be your day that you clean your room? She said Sundays. Okay, cool. What day is going to be the day that you clean your bathroom? She said Wednesdays. Okay, we're going to write that on this calendar because you came up with this schedule. If your room is not clean by Sunday night when you go to sleep, all of your devices are taken away. If your bathroom is not clean by Wednesday night when you go to sleep, all of your devices are taken away. So now Sunday hit. Sis was in there cleaning up. She was in there making sure everything was good. Tomorrow, I fully expect for her to be in there cleaning that bathroom sink because she came up with this schedule. If you want to be able to express yourself, I'm going to give you the room to do that. But we're also going to be solution oriented. It's not just going to be, Mama, I don't want to clean my room. And I say, well, okay, just leave it a mess. No, ma'am. Let's get a plan together. If you don't want to do it right now, let's figure out when you're going to do it. And you better do it when you said you're going to do it, or it's an issue. So, as parents, sometimes we have to have some wiggle room in that way.
Right. I had to ask my son. I ain't have to tell him. I had to ask my son, "Do you like this way? Just look at it. Come stand where I'm standing at. Come here. Come by the door. Crease the door and look at this space for you. Do you like how it looks? Do you like how it smells? No? What you suggest we do about it?" And
It
that was
has to
it.
be that way.
That was it. And you know, my consequences ain't devices. My consequences is physical training. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It might
And
cost
see,
you.
my kids like that.
I mean, mine's like it too. So but
So-
they don't like it in the time where you have to do it based off
Mhm.
of something that we're looking to remedy and something we're looking to
Right.
correct. Now, why are we here? How did we get here?
Yeah, I tried to
So
tell Cairo, you're gonna have to give me 20 push-ups if you don't clean up your playroom. He was like, okay. No, son, that is not the reaction I was looking for. Like, my arm's gonna be strong. Okay, son, never mind. Just never
exactly.
mind.
So yeah, it was an adjustment from what the corporal punishment was because
Mhm.
you know I got beat. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? I got beat, like I got beat savagely. You understand what I'm saying? I got beat on a whole other levels. So that's not something I wanted them to inherit. Uh,
And I catch a lot of flack for my parenting style. And even when I'm counseling my clients and patients and I try to veer them away from the corporal punishment, I get the comments of, that's white people stuff and that's gentle parenting. No, it's not necessarily gentle parenting. Let's parent the way that your child needs you to because every child
right,
is not the same. So every child can't
right,
be parented the same.
right. And I had to reconcile with my older children. And I didn't do it privately. I didn't do it quietly. I did it loudly in front of the entire family.
Mhm.
I atone. If I could, discipline you that way, I could learn a lesson from it that way as well, publicly in front of
Mhm.
everybody. With tears in my eyes, like this is all I was taught. That was my interface for most of my life. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I was wrong. I was wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so throw away the infallibility complex and the ego and all that. Like, I was wrong, and I apologize. Can y'all forgive me? You understand what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
strive to do better in that way. So they have a new, lease on whatever this experience was because they understand where it came from, and that cycle of degeneracy and justification for degeneracy ends with me, so it don't have to visit them. So now it's a whole nother parenting approach from the perspective that we're learning on this journey together. And as I learn, not only will I say better, but I'll do better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that was important from my perspective. But yeah, mother knows best. Healing the black family from the inside out. So some of the things that we consume contribute to the dis-ease of our mind, our body, and our spirit. So, uh, how do you deal with that from a therapy and a counseling perspective with folks who they inherit those kinds of things that I described, right? And they just think that's modus operandi. Like that's just, another day at the office. Like, oh, I ain't raising no soft kids. Ain't no child about to tell me what they ain't about to do and blah blah blah. And I
I hear
this
all
happened to
that.
me. This happened to me, and I came out fine. But
Mhm.
you in the office,
But
man.
did
Like,
you? that's, that's what
right?
I
So
always ask them. But did you though?
yeah,
But that's the main question I have to ask parents is if you're wanting to raise your children the way that you were raised, how did that work out for you? Do you want your child to experience some of the same dilemmas that you experienced? Do you want your child to have some of the same struggles and experiences that you had? Because that's what's going to happen if you raise them the way that you were raised. There's nothing wrong with taking some things from our parents, our grandparents, or whoever we were raised by. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you have to tweak it and adjust it for your own children. For example, my mom, being an African woman, her entire family is like, your daughter's bad, beat her. And it wasn't necessarily that I was bad behavior wise, I was very inquisitive. If you tell me that I can't do something, I want to know why I can't do it. If you tell me don't go over there, but why can't I go over there? And if I do still decide to go over there, what's going to happen? I need to know these things so I can weigh my options. And that just was frowned upon when we were coming up. That was talking back when really it was me seeking understanding. And so, thankfully, my mom was a little bit more understanding with me, and now I'm a little bit more understanding with my children. But I have some clients that come in and they got whooped with the switch, so their kids get whooped with the switch. And I'm like, but is it working? Did the behavior that you punished them for stop? Or did they start to still do those behaviors but hide it from you because they don't want to whoop? Like, which one is actually taking place? Are you correcting this thing that you have an issue with, this behavior that you have an issue with, or are you just punishing them for it? Because that's what I feel like goes on a lot of times. You're punishing them for it, but you're not giving them an alternative to what they did. You're punishing them for yelling at you or talking back to you, but you're not teaching them what to do in place of that. And so now you just told them what not to do, but they still don't know what to do. And so I think as parents, we have to definitely step in and correct. It needs to be more corrective parenting. And we also have to be able to admit when we're wrong. And a lot of Black parents are not going for that. We don't like to admit when we're wrong. We don't like to apologize. I will apologize to my kids. If I'm having a rough day or I'm tired and I might have been a little bit more snappy with my response to them, I'll come back and apologize. Hey, mommy was just having a moment. I didn't mean to say that the way that I did. I could have said that better. And that's to me teaching my children that when you do something that maybe wasn't the right thing, accountability. Take responsibility for what you did and make it right. Not I'm the mama and what I say goes. And if I screamed and yelled at you, then oh well, you should have been listening in the first place. No, that doesn't work. These are little people that you are raising and gonna turn loose on the world. Make sure you're turning humans loose and not monsters when you do turn them loose on the world.
exactly. The sins of the father, right? That's what they, that book they be quoting, they be talking about to the
Hmm.
seventh and tenth generation, right? So, just learning to be mindful and honesty was the policy. I don't hide nothing from them. They know what's going on. Now if they getting that from everywhere, I don't know. They
Right.
might get an abridged version, but if they want the truth, they know I'm gonna tell them the truth. You know what I'm saying? And so, regardless, because they know, they not slow. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Right.
um, yeah, maximizing the opportunities for wellness, for healing, for informed decision making. You know what I'm saying? So if they know the truth, they know how to. What you said, I'll weigh out my options and see. you know, this is what it is. So definitely, and people that wish they had it could call it whatever they want to call it. Everything other than I wish I had that in my life growing up. I
Right.
wonder what I would have turned out like. I think I told you before. My older brother and I was sitting with one of the elder men that he hangs out with, and he was like, I grew up in the house, and you know, my mother and my father was in the house, and blah blah blah. And he's like, I bet y'all look at me like I was soft. I was like, I dreamed for that. I
Mm-hmm.
prayed for that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no, no, no. I said you grew up in the house. Your children grew up in the house, correct? Like, yes. I was like, their children are gonna grow up in the house. They don't need to know what an apartment is.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 50 years in that apartment. You know what I'm saying? Grown people, all kinds of people coming through that house. Everybody, you know, my mother had, God rest her, 14 siblings. It's 15 of them. Anybody could have showed up with their children at any time. You know what I'm saying? So no, like normalcy in the house, predictability in a house, not an apartment. You can't inherit an apartment. You can inherit a house. You know what I'm saying? So setting things right and those things, I just shared with him, our perspectives, we had to fight to find them. We had to hurt to find them. We had to go through all these processes to find them. Like, yeah, these are things that were supposed to have been given, you know. But my mother, God rest her, she did the best with 7 children. You know what I'm saying? She did the best that she could do. And, it wasn't an easy task, but it was something that she took very seriously. You know what I'm saying? So she found what she found along the way, and so did we. So, optimal family situation is something that's promoted, required, and incumbent. That's healthy, not just together for the sake of the children type of situation, because that ain't helpful either. You understand what I'm saying? So it becomes more toxic in that way. So our destinies are written in the path in that way. So yeah, if you would have seen the expressions on his face, Doc, with me talking to him, he thought, because how I am, that I was going to come at him like something was wrong with that. Everything in the
Mm-hmm.
world was right with that. You know what I'm saying? Something was wrong with our situation, not my mother's choices, but something was wrong in the environment that contributed to these factors where which we had to grow up in the way that we did. So we made the best out of it and vowed not to return to it. None of my siblings, they children know what an apartment is neither. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So they, that was motivation. So in honoring that space, that's what it was. And prior to my mother, coming into her own, even with 14 siblings, they didn't know what no apartment was. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So again, traditions in the family in regards to ownership and having a stake in the future became something that's more important. So my children ain't never lived in an apartment. I lived in an apartment, but they ain't know what that was. They ain't supposed to know what that is. You understand what I'm saying? Unless that's your thing. So
Mm-hmm.
being mindful of the nuances and the effects that they have becomes something even more palatable from one generation, to the next. So if you want them to inherit these things, they inherit the behaviors and the mentalities associated with them because that's all they've seen. So if you want them to be different, you have to show them something different so they can model that behavior and then have a line of communication for them to understand exactly what that is,
Mm-hmm.
in spirit and in truth.
Something that I did learn though is that even though it's always been my goal to give my kids a better life than what I had and give them the things that I didn't have, I've learned that I also need to incorporate some of the things that I did just for their sake of not being too sheltered and naive. Because I realized, especially with my daughter, she doesn't know people that don't go to college. She doesn't know people whose mom don't go to college or haven't been to college. And so she made a comment to her friend, "What college did your mom go to?" And her friend's like, my mama didn't go to college. My mama just went to high school. And Kimani's like, but why? Like, my mama went to a bunch of colleges. Why your mama didn't go to school? She didn't understand that. Even your example of an apartment complex. My daughter didn't understand what an apartment complex was. She wanted to know why the houses were stuck together. And it dawned on me that she didn't know that. And so even when I explained to her that, well, this is an apartment complex, there's a lot of houses in there, a lot of people live in these buildings. The only thing that she had ever seen that she could compare it to was dorm rooms at a college. And so she's like, well, where do they go to class at? I'm like, Kimani, what are you talking about? She was like, well, if this is their dorm room, then where's their classrooms at? Like, no, baby, this is not a dormitory. But I realized I do need to kind of throw a little bit of what I did have in there just for the sake of her not being so sheltered, but definitely still focused on giving her more than what I had.
Yeah, the inclinations are there. They don't go away. They
Mhm.
predisposed to it. So, it is what it is, from an ancestral perspective. So they are going to ask questions to seek to try to make sense out of, whatever they see. Something is
Right.
pulling at them. And, that inquisitive nature that she inherited from the best, okay? Because mother knows best, right? You understand what I'm saying? But by questioning, by researching, by deductive reasoning and synthesis. It's not just simply because you do know, but those things that come back to your remembrance come back through those processes. So if they can't question, then they won't question you, but they'll
Mhm.
question somewhere and they'll find them answers somewhere.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, those questions, right? The houses stuck together. That's a bar forever. You understand what I'm saying? That is a bar forever. Yeah, why are the houses stuck? Because the housing projects were projects.
Mhm.
They were designed for Korean War veterans, Vietnam veterans coming back as a place to desensitize before being reintegrated into the society. So it was like military halfway houses.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you there, you get debriefed, then you go through that process of socialization uh, slowly. Slowly don't mean a long time. Slowly meant a couple of weeks. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So if we think about warrior transition units now that they have in the army, that was still in the army. It was still on active duty, right? But after that, you just you out in the wild. You see what I'm saying? So, those projects were designed for that, and then they turned them into spaces for regular people. But it's still the same project. It's still the same stigma. It's still the same replication of the ghettos of Nazi Germany and Auschwitz and Poland. So the same mentalities, the same things that happen, and the same sort of things in regards to the activities that happen. So yeah, uh, we don't get away from them. So if we're not careful, if we're not explaining things, if we're not listening and looking, observing, and learning, then things become susceptible. So the practitioner in you. So we segue in a little bit, right? The practitioner in you from the spiritual health connection. You know, what are some of the things that folks are coming to you in this season of the transits, right? The season of the feels.
Mhm.
Everybody feeled out, right, and on fire, right? So they feeled out and they're on fire. What are some of the spiritual concerns that are being brought to you in this season of healing and revealing?
A lot of what I'm saying right now involves just connections and disconnections with other people, and me realizing that a lot of our generation and even the generations before us were not taught how to properly disconnect from people and situations. When there's a breakup or there's a divorce, or even when someone passes away, people don't know how to release. And those connections still stay put. And sometimes those connections are very toxic. Sometimes those connections are very unhealthy. And so I had to help them kind of navigate through which connections need to be kept and which ones need to be cut. A lot of that going on. And now, because of the media and a lot of Black spirituality, African spirituality being in the spotlight, there's a lot of Black people who are now curious, who want to know about different African spiritualities, different forms of ancestor veneration, and those types of things. And so I'm seeing a rise in people coming, like, I want to get a reading, but Pastor said I'm gonna go to hell. Like, am I gonna burn for eternity if I let you do a Reiki session on me? So, I'm finding myself having to educate a lot and having to clear up a lot of misconceptions when it comes to spirituality.
So as if 20 years wasn't enough, huh? You know? Well, in your case, longer, right? Just from a academic perspective, 20 years, 21 years, educating folks. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be the educators. In
Right.
regards to that. So this trend now, I guess I got to ask. The social media, which the social media. Uh, hoodoo expert, the social media voodoo expert, the TikTok scholar, the YouTube guru, the
Mhm.
social media evangelist in regards to ATRs. You know what I'm saying? Your perspective on that, and you know, have you come across people who have been susceptible or victimized or anything in regards to the social media bandit out here?
Definitely. Social media, I feel like it's a gift and a curse. If you use it properly, it can be an amazing tool. You can do amazing things with it. It definitely broadens your horizons and makes your reach and your audience a whole lot bigger. And so it's positive in that aspect. But the thing about social media is that people can get on social media and be whoever they want to be. They can create these entirely false characters and get on here and play a role. And if they're convincing enough, then they make their viewers and their audience or their followers believe them and take them for whatever role it is that they're playing. Unfortunately, a lot of them play that role of being a spiritual advisor, play that role of being a guru or being a witch or being a hoodoo expert or a voodoo expert. And I'm like, no, you're not a practitioner. You just play one on TikTok. And that's unfortunate. But I have met a lot of people who have been victimized, even victimized financially by these people. You're paying this babalawo that you met on TikTok $10,000 to initiate you into something over the internet that you can't be initiated into over the internet. But now you wiped your entire life savings out for some beads that he ordered off of Etsy and for him to give you an African name that he had to Google and tell you that you're the child of some Orisha that he can't even contact. So I have seen that. I have seen that a lot. And it's very unfortunate because those of us who are genuine in our studies and genuine in our practice, it kind of gives all of us a bad name. So I'm not very fond of it, but I do see it a lot.
She's out here. 10,000 for initiation. Oh,
10,000. And that's not
remember
even the highest amount.
we in the wrong business. Okay, look. Okay, I tell you, Mama say, Mama stop. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? For 10,000, you can have Mama say, Mama stop. Okay, I give it to you. You have it. That'll be your name. Oh man, yeah, that is nuts. But I understand that that's real. That's why I asked because there are folks out here and we don't know no better. You know, you don't know no better.
Yeah,
You caught up
I've
in the
been
trick bag.
offered things like reality shows and things like that over the years that I always say no to. Um, from major networks and from major producers in the industry wanting to shine a spotlight on spirituality, on just holistic therapy and on hoodoo and ATRs. And I turn it down every time because I feel as though if it's done the right way, then it could be a positive thing and it can be an educational thing and help clear up a lot of misconceptions. But if you approach it as Black Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I'm not interested in that. That's not going to help our people move forward. That's not going to educate anybody. That's just pure entertainment. And my spirituality is not for anybody's entertainment. And so there are some spiritualists that have chosen to take that bait. And there are reality shows that have been filmed within the last year or two. And um, these readers, celebrity readers, and things like that. I'm just not interested in any of that. I want for my practice and anything that I do and I attach my spirituality to it to be genuine. You have to be able to use your own discernment when you're dealing with these people. When you're dealing with anyone, a spiritualist, a therapist, or Joe down the street, use your discernment and see what is your spiritual alarm system telling you about this person. Is it sitting right with you? Is what they're saying resonating with you? If not, then get away from that person. But a lot of people aren't using that discernment. They're following what's trendy, what's popular, and they end up following somebody right off a cliff.
That was 17 bombs, right? For 1,700 bars right there. So, I'm just, letting you know right here. But yeah, uh, it's a hard lesson, but it's a real lesson. So the differentiation, uh, not using the discernment, comes with a penalty. Comes with a penalty. But it comes with a blessing if it's properly understood. Then it's a
Hmm.
blessing. And it wasn't. It's not even a penalty. It's like, oh, word. You know, uh, I wish I would have known this sooner. You know it now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You know it now. You knew it. You know it in due season. So what do you do in the season? Yeah, definitely. Uh, so the God Day is coming up. You understand?
Hmm. Yeah, it's on the 23rd.
Yes, yes. And I know, folks want to get you something, but your giving, loving heart is not taking gifts, right? You want uh, those things to go to the Hope House. So tell us about Hope
Absolutely.
House. Tell the family what's going on, and how they can get involved. And I know that there was a couple situations you had to overcome, recently in regards
Hmm.
to that. So. Uh, Tell us about Hope House and how we can keep hope alive. Okay.
So, Hope House is what we call a recovery compound. And this is where we've had cases of severe domestic violence and abuse. And these women and their children are starting over after surviving and overcoming situations like that. And so, it's basically an old meal that we converted into apartments. And each family has their own, living space and unit. And there is 24/7 security, seeing as some of our cases are that severe where, we would need security and protection of that sort. The children, some of them are homeschooled. So we do have certified homeschool teachers on site, certified daycare teachers on site. We do have a nutritionist on site that works with the kitchen staff to make sure that these kids are, eating healthy, and for those of them that have any type of medical issues, eating an appropriate diet for their medical issues. We have, of course, with myself and two others, on site counseling and therapy available, on site spiritual guidance available. We just try to help these women recover and bounce back from these negative situations. And so that's my baby. That's what I've been working on since 2018. And so for those of you who have asked, about gifts for my birthday, I would rather you make a donation directly to Hope House. not sending it to me, third party, and then me giving it to Hope House. I would rather you donate directly to Hope House. And so if you go on to houseofblanco.com, or if you visit my Instagram, my handle is Blanco Bruja. In the bio of my Instagram, there's a link there for you to donate directly to Hope House as a birthday gift to me. That would much, I would much more prefer that than for you to give me a material or a financial gift. I've been very blessed to have lots of nice things, and so that doesn't really interest me. I would much rather that be given to them.
She said, "Don't nobody want your punk ass gift, cuz." Okay. Oh my bad.
When you say it like that, it sounds so awful. But no, I that would be the best gift that anybody could give me. It's just donating to Hope House, keeping Hope House going, because they did cut the funding for a lot of nonprofits, and because I made the decision not to turn away immigrants, um, a lot of the funding got taken away. And so this is something that I have to fund myself. I have to keep this facility running, with the help of some investors and donations from you guys. And so I would much rather the money go there than to me.
So let's keep hope alive, y'all. Okay. So my favorite subject of all time, every time you come on, New Eden University and my New Eden Universityites up in there. You understand? Yeah. Learning and growing and being magnificent. Okay.
Mhm.
So what's up with my New Edenites up in there? Getting
They are
busy.
doing well, doing well. Grades still on point. They're still on top of things. We did just start our creative writing course, as well as the holistic health sciences, where we'll be focusing on herbalism and making tinctures and lots of natural medicines, especially with us not knowing what's going to happen with healthcare here in America right now. I think that that's a really good course for some of our people to take. In the fall, we'll have some esoteric sciences and some occult studies for those who like the darker, spookier things associated with spirituality. We do still have, our film classes that you love so much, our film analysis and breakdown classes. So we'll be having more of those coming up soon as well. So New Eden is doing very well. It's growing for sure. I'm proud of it.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna have to see what my money looking like. See if I could get me one of them esoteric. I want to be esoteric. You know what I'm saying? I want to be esoteric. You know, I want to get occultish. Okay, occultish. Yeah. So definitely, I want to figure that out too. Yeah. So I'm glad. The student body and the faculty body is doing well. You understand what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Out here making strides and preparing to save the world because, you know, this old world is going out and the new world is coming in. So for those who have attachments to the beast, you're gonna go with the beast, man. Okay, go with the beast, the beast. So yeah, definitely, mother. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your passion, your compassion. Thank you for your correctness. Thank you for all of your true commitments to the renewal of our people, indiscriminate to the places and spaces you find them, the mindsets you find us in, and you know our greatness to our raggediness. You understand what I'm saying? You find a way, you find a way to find the best part, even in the midst of the greatest appearing for parts of us. So, honest to you, honest to your family, and honest to uh, your future. I don't get a chance to say Happy God Day to you because you in motion out there. You understand what I'm saying? You got
I
the
won't be doing too
motion, yeah.
much.
You know, uh, Even if it's a reset, with respect to the reset, because
Mhm.
these things are necessary. You know what I mean? If
Yes.
John Coffey had a day off, he probably would still be here with us. You understand what I'm saying? So it gets to be a lot, and we're honest to you always for who you are and what you do. So a final word for you, to the family that's out here that's listening, and to the eat nights that will listen to this recording. You understand what I'm saying later on?
Be kind to yourself, not just to
Mm.
each other. Start to be kind to yourself. That's what I've been on my soapbox about the last couple of weeks. Be kind to yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. Give yourself
Mm.
some grace. Forgive yourself. Sometimes we make decisions that we know we shouldn't have made, and we're really hard on ourselves after that, and we don't trust ourselves after that. Forgive yourself for the crazy things you've done and learn from it and push on. That's my final word. Is be kind to you.
You sounded like cornbread. Being kind to one another. You know what I'm saying? I was like, she sounded like cornbread. Being kind to one another, all right?
I don't know about one another right now. I'm still on the fence with that, but definitely be kind to yourself.
Now, that wasn't so nice. Miss Husky, right? Let me stop. Uh, Thank you, Lord God. Honest to you. Thank you for making our day bright over here on New Knowledge Radio. You know what I'm saying? Before you go, what's up with the podcast? You understand what I'm saying? Is the podcast still in
Listen,
the works? I
the
heard
podcast is
something,
still a
something,
go. I'm still
something. Yeah,
gonna do it.
yeah,
I'm still
yeah,
gonna do it. I just want to
yeah.
make sure I'm doing it right, but I'm still gonna do it.
Hey, I know somebody that got some assistance for you if you need it. You know what I'm saying? I know
Yeah,
somebody.
man. I know this one guy. He's an expert in that subject matter. I might need to interview him.
Oh, hey, he's bookable. From what I heard that he's bookable. You can book him.
I had to have my people call his people, and see if we can set that up.
Yeah, yeah, he is bookable. Right, he is bookable. So y'all mind y'all business. We about to get up out of here. The great, the wonderful Reverend Dr. J. and Husky. Mother knows better. Okay, so she came here and showed and proved again, all right, that she knows better, and we are better by her guidance and her love and her correction. So we will see you next time here next month on Dude Knowledge Radio, if not sooner. You know what I'm saying? Them 21 questions was kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we could slide in, and you know what I'm saying?
You put me
One
in the
more.
hot seat for a minute, but I might be convinced to do it again.
Yeah, so Leo season, get hot outside. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could do the Leo season edition. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
Last time I seen you, you was here. We was in Gemini season. Oh my God, day. You understand? I said, oh my God, day. You understand what I'm saying? That was whew. I'm still, I'm still high off of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still moving. So yeah, maybe we could do the Leo season edition. You know what I'm saying? Make it a little hot. Make it a
We'll
little hot.
work it out.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your time. And we will see y'all next time here on Judah Knowledge Radio. Peace.
For the righteous will never be moved. He will be remembered forever. Superman, the one and only zigzag Zodiac Killer.
Now I learned cause I'm righteous.
cause I'm righteous. Now I learn, cause I'm righteous.
Yeah,
I feel great,
cause I'm righteous.
Now I learn, cause I'm righteous.
Why?
Cause I'm righteous.
Yeah,
now I learn,
cause I'm righteous. I feel great. Yo,
righteous.
yeah, surprise and shine, guide the blind, return up the higher mind. F the world, I came before the earth like a fire sign. This light of mine is brighter than intelligence is. Held they breath, selling death, so I tell them to live. God sniper trying to pick the best spot on the roof. In the falsehood, I'm shooting at the opposite of truth. Fools pass me by and ask me why I'm not with the youth. Cause they're an unopened door, I broke the locks that's in use. Watching movies, pesticide like I'm washing the fruits. I made a vow to the boss, now rappers is flower soft. Bars about me in the plug with no power source. Lead them to the summit, I see them, they so stunned. If I don't like the track, I see it and don't run it. Beyond 85 is I'm teaching the whole 100. I pick up plain rocks, I'm leaving them gold nuggets. Jewels in my brain, the reason it's so studded. I've been dripping so long, the reason it's slow flooded. Make they dull mind sharper, believe me, they won't cut it. Let us on the bed of healing, let us give a better feeling. Angels in the heavens dealing, made it past the seventh ceiling. A virtuous ways, reversing the plague. Flew around the world twice while I'm burning sage and burdened by age. Proud to be a bird in a cage, with gold bars, so scarred, too absurd to be saved. They blew it like the shofar, tulips heard me and prayed. Went from murder and rage to Merlin the mage. Message from remote stars became word to my page. Rappers wear suede purse, the reverse and persuade. Against delicious man bags, it's the purge for the stage. While I drink a cup of fire, just a scribe writing angel thoughts. While everybody rapping about their bricks like they came from Newark. I brought proof of thinkers before listening, they bring a fork. I'm here to bring it back before genocide became a sport. Know it's sharp in the holy war that it smell blood. I'm on a higher mission, my religion is self-love. From fight the system, now I write the system. The program, a gang is lexicon. Starters doing light in prison, light bulbs above my head, trying to make the right decision. Still searching for the right decision. Cut it out while you riding the sack. Idol worship keeps you idle, that ain't right and exact. We gotta be the true example of how righteousness acts. You wanna be right, you gotta be right. They say I'm buzzing, I make music even B's like A-alike, Z-alike. Fruit inside my semen's right, my inner child climbing all the branches of the tree of life.
Now I learn, cause I'm righteous. Cause I'm righteous. Now I learn, cause I'm righteous. I feel great, cause I'm righteous. Now I learn, cause I'm righteous. Cause I'm righteous. Now I learn,
cause I'm righteous.
I feel great, cause I'm righteous.
Yeah, love is my superpower. Jewels surround the truth. Yeah, how with tetragram, a truth announcer. Breath of an illumined counselor, blood of Christ. Scrub the price, every song's a shooting shower. Step on my pedals, drives me crazy. It's the human flower beings like me, and humanity's rare. Amongst the clowns at the circus, at the Vanity Fair. This that water fire thought supply can land in the air. Now they standing on the corner, but don't stand on their square. In the battle with the darkness, here's some ammo to spare. This is it, light pouring out the sky. Keep your can below, I'm so hot. When I'm in Alaska, then it can't snow. No, everybody clapping in the jungle like they Rambo. I gave up the material, the sacrificial Lambo. They the type to shoot the breeze and it still miss. I'll cut your lights off, I'm reversing the kill switch. They so jaded, they be thinking their Will's myth. In time, evil lost every battle it fought. God's a bare spirit clothed in the shadow of thought. The perfected man, yes I am. Following a lesson plan, astrologer shock, Jesus superstar. With electric hands, connect my joints, 7-point star, that's a heptagram. 12-step ladder just to peek inside the head of man. Here to find the gifts of lost souls with no exit plan. If they lie, I decap them like the headless man. Faster than the heavens span, precious lamb, precious slam. From telegram to telegram, the message is sent. So advance the future follows me wherever I went. Cause I treat my every breath like it's a special event. The divine masculinely zesty bullies can't vanish. Turn on light inside your mind, make the boogeyman vanish. Cause nightmares only visit the sleep. Llama suit, that ain't following the script for the sheep. The Assyrian winged bulletin, they read it and weep. The OGs went silent when they needed to speak. And have the nerve to wonder why these shorties lost, plus they couldn't rap. Voice spitting thunder, I'm the one that they couldn't trap. Now you're all salty cause you spend your time looking back. I'm still cooking with no stove, it's Mr. Raw Chef. We're drinking the Lord's breath, they thinking it's all flesh. The lion got neutered, now they thinking they all dressed. No place to grow when I think we could all stretch. never got right. They was thinking the Lord's left. They thinking it's more stress. They bringing you more death. These rings in my cortex, I bring them to 4 steps. So keep playing with me, you gon' king me in 4 steps. Giant grab the mic with 2 fingers like force apps. Protect your next Friday, 1 blink and the sword flex. The kingdom they sword next. I'm bringing the vortex. Right angle, sticking to the plan. I don't bend the plot. The light shines, but the dark comprehended not.
Now I learn, cause I'm righteous. Cause I'm righteous. Now I learn, cause I'm righteous. I feel great, cause I'm righteous. Now I learn, cause I'm righteous. Cause I'm righteous. Now I learn, cause I'm righteous. I feel great, cause I'm righteous.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord.
I feel great,
when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a. Let's get back to the
motive is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.